Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? Happy Labor Day weekend. I figured I would line up the crew and just kind of walk around, show you guys a little bit about them. And I just wanted to say thank you to all my new subscribers. And if you guys haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so when I post a video, you guys get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk down, kind of, just kind of do a once over on the bikes. And then I will talk a little bit about them. There's a lot of cool, interesting things here, and I got so much stuff on these bikes. We got more we're doing. We have two other bikes that are not in this lineup. It's the KDE and the 1987 Kawasaki KE that we're going to be doing the expansion chamber on. But these bikes right here are complete and mostly done. They still need a little tinkering, but nothing dramatic. So we're going to start with this one right here. This is a Yamaha Breeze. That is not the original seat, and I really don't know what year this thing is. Haven't really bothered to look at it. This bike right here came from my one of my scrap guys, Rock and Rollin', up there in the Fremont area, Raymond area, and I bought this off of him. Was able to get this thing up and going, and what do you call it there? This thing was cool. I put riding lawnmower tires, 20 by 8 by 8s in the front, 20 by 8 by 10s, 20 by 10 by 8s in the back. And this is the bike that when I got it had a bad carburetor and the transmission had ripped off teeth. The transmission was junk. I didn't do this, but I thought it was genius because on this side of the motor you have to rip apart the whole case. They actually cut the case. You can see right there where they cut it all the way down. So now if I need to access the transmission, I can just unbolt that little cover and do it. I put a new carburetor on there, new battery, intake, and boot, air filter assembly, and we did a trailer hitch on this one. So that's pretty much it for that. And then this bike was up and running. That's all I needed. And I put the little vent valve on there. So this bike, I know a lot of you guys love this bike. This bike is actually a 1992 KE100, but I put the 94 plastics and tank on it. We did the ammo conversion for the ammo bag in the back, for a bag. This bike has been converted over to CDI. And what else can I tell you about it? It's got a few accessories like the little tank vent up top. We have the risers on the handlebars right there. And she's been a great bike. It's been a really good bike. And I've done a massive amount of videos on this. Put the headlight guard on there. I like that look. And we still have a lot more to do. We're doing a rack on this thing next. So we'll be getting on that after we do the KE100. This bike right here is a 94 chassis, which coincidentally, that tank and all the covers and stuff came off of went on from that bike right there. That's where it came from. This bike right here is my KDE 90cc. Not a bike, this is an actual bike. I actually made this. I didn't have the cylinder and piston except for one from a G3SS 90cc. So that's the cylinder with a KE100 head. This bike has been converted from a points ignition bike to a CDI. From a friend of mine in Pakistan, Mohammed, sent me the ignition system, and that's what's in this bike right here. So this is CDI, but from a GTO 100. So it's pretty cool. This is strictly off-road. That's why I call it the KDE 90, because the 90cc G3. This also features that exhaust system that we took the baffle out of right there. So we cut this one off. I just got to put the guard on it and finish off the wiring, and that bike right there is done, ready for the off-road. This bad boy right here, if you guys remember my early videos, this came to me as a basket case. Guy down in Massachusetts here wanted $100 for the bike. It was all in boxes. He lost all the bolts, and I actually purchased this bike for $100. And what I had to do to it is put the bike back together. I didn't care. Here's my $100. I grabbed the bike, I threw it in the back of the car, and I was happy. I put 2 new tires on it, and the bolts that were all missing were actually screwed into the holes where they came out of, but he had it in storage for so long, he didn't know, I didn't know, it was dark. We threw it in the back of the car, and I dealt with it later. Tank was clean, $100, I'll take it. So that's my 79. This bike right here and this bike right here are registered. Okay, this bike right here is a 1979 and has been converted over to CDI. The CDI for this bike here, which we'll talk about next, and the where are you? This bike are all from a 1996 Kawasaki KE100. All the parts and pieces except for the magneto flywheel on that bike. That's actually came with a 4-magnet flywheel, so we were all set there. Okay, so this bike right here has been converted over to CDI. So that's cool. I put the guard on it and really didn't do too much. I put KE100 directionals on it because it didn't have directionals. They were on a pedestal. I like these better, so I put these on here. And then and I put the little rubber around the bezel for the gauge. Also got a tank vent and a pad. Awesome bike. Love riding this thing. It is super cool. I did have some issues with it, and we found it was a clogged exhaust. Moving on to the next bike. This bike right here is my Kawasaki KD80. I'm keeping it an 80. I was going to convert to 100, but I already have enough 100s, so I kept her an 80. But this has also been converted over to a CDI. This bike has the front fender is from an MC1. So I do have the original red fender, but I wanted to put some black onto it. And the reflectors are from a KM100. You can see KM100 takes the reflectors. I just put those on there for a little bit of bling. And other than that, this bike is mint. Love it. Fun to drive. Fun. And to be different, because all of them have the tank vents, this is actually a fuel cap from a KV75. This bike right here, also a $100 bike. I got this from a guy. This is a 1980 Yamaha GT80, and I changed this bike up a little bit. This bike, it came factory with CDI in 1980, so it didn't get any special stuff with that. But I did put the RX50 side cover on, which actually came on some of the GT80s, GT50s had that cover. And I modified a high compression RX50 cylinder head. So that's been modified, so it's got high compression. And this bike goes. It goes. You wouldn't tell. And I put that little Yamaha across the front there. That also came from the RX50 and a headlight guard. So she's a fun bike. She's not done. I replaced the marker lights that were broken on the bike, and I have the switch for the brake, and I just got to put that on. So that's where I'm at with that bike. This bike right here is the blown up motor. Actually not blown up. It runs. It'll start and run, but the crank bearings are bad. So this one needs crank seals and crank bearings, and we're going to be doing those videos this winter. So this bike right here runs. And you guys, if you guys want to hear it run or check it out, you can go check out what our bad crank bearings sound like. This is that. And you can see some of the parts hanging from it. We got the new hand grips, because these are broken and severely bent. So this is the Suzuki DS80. In fact, the bike that we're doing the expansion chamber on is getting that same exhaust tip. And the KV75, that one, is getting a modified version of that pipe. I have one I showed you guys in my last video. So that's pretty cool. So that exhaust system is going to be modified to fit the KV75. This next bike right over here is a specialty bike. I built this right here for my son. This bike right here is a 1975 Kawasaki KV75 modified with a 2004 KDX 50 engine. Oil injection. You can see the build. This is called the Andrew bike build. This is a Kawasaki 50 KDX 50 engine. I didn't drill any holes in the frame. All the holes that you see are factory holes. I did not drill any holes in this frame. I could literally put the original engine back on this. I did modify the exhaust. You can see how I did that, because the exhaust actually came out on this side. So a couple of things about this bike. This bike needed to have CDI ignition. It needed to fit onto the frame without drilling holes, or any heavy modifications for that matter. Oil injection, because I wanted to use the oil tank. You can see how it says 50 on it, right there. So it's oil injection, carbureted, and it's air cooled, so it worked out perfect. Now this engine right here, Suzuki made for Kawasaki. Suzuki uses it on their Junior 50s, their the Kawasaki KDX 50, and the Suzuki LT 50. And the Suzuki LT 50 actually has a different side cover on this side, because it has a pull start, which I thought was pretty cool. So not too bad. This bike right here is a 1972 MT1, and this is an earlier bike, earlier than that one. That's actually a 1980 with a 1975 tank. But everything works on this bike as it should. It was kind of a basket case. Had to fix a lot of things on this bike. Tank is good, but they sealed it. I'm not really too keen about that, but they did a cool thing, you know, a couple of cool things. So they sealed the tank, and what was the other thing they did too? Oh, they put that petcock on there, aftermarket petcock, and I had the air filter assembly. So basically just kind of put the whole bike back together. I had to fix the kickstarter. That's all on there too, on the videos. But I had to replace the kickstarter. They broke the oil pump, and I put it all back together so it's factory and works exactly as it should. Great bike, fun to ride. Came with new tires on it and everything, so I can't complain. This bike right here was my first Kawasaki KV75. This one right here had the, this was a basket case. It takes an orange tank. This one takes an orange tank, but I couldn't find or fix the one that I had, so I ended up replacing it with this tank right here, 1975 tank, which I got from a fellow subscriber. So it worked out pretty good. I had a lot of help when I did this first bike. A friend of mine sent me up a lot of parts for this thing, so you know who you are. Thank you very much. And this bike has been just a great little bike. I got the fuel line disconnected right now because I take the fuel out of them when I'm not using them. But yeah, she's tight. It's a good bike. New chain, new sprockets, all new gaskets, new bearings, new rings. I went through this entire engine. It's been a pleasure, I'll tell you that. And I put little lights on it. They're not wired yet, but I'll be doing that at another time. So this is the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Yamaha collection, and it's growing. So I believe there's 9 bikes here altogether. Yep, 9 bikes and a 4-wheeler. And yeah, they're growing, guys. They're growing. So I just wanted to say thank you, show off the collection. And these are what we work on. Small, old 2-strokes. Enjoy them. I think this is the actual newest one in the fleet. But they're a lot of fun. I enjoy working on them. I enjoy sharing my knowledge and my techniques with you guys. So I look forward to doing a whole bunch more. So over the winter we have that new canopy back there where we'll be doing a lot more. We're still working on the the KE102 build. Still waiting for parts for that, and we have really just right now waiting for parts because of the whole COVID-19 thing. So I just figured I would say thank you once again. You guys have been absolutely awesome. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all you guys do, your contribution to the channel. Thank you guys for your fan mail. I always look forward to, you know, reading the letters and stuff like that you guys send up, and all the cool trinkets and stuff. So I just want to say thank you again for all you guys do for this channel. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and I will talk to you guys later. I'm out.